Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video. We got something really special today, and obviously you know I like my watches, I like my pens, I like my fine cigars, wine, but don't forget art. If you want to be a refined gentleman, you got to have some nice artwork in your collection, and I've got something very special. He's a local artist here in the Camp Hill, PA area, a fellow cigar smoker. He and I were talking about some of his artwork. I saw some, I was like, man, he creates some beautiful art. So it's like, I want to show this on my channel, and I have the man himself here. If he can come on in, and we can talk about some of his art. And then if you guys are interested, I'll leave links in the description down below. You can check him out. You can get in contact with him. He can do some phenomenal work for you. And the man of the hour is...
Hi guys, coming at you here, James Rowland, and that's R-O-W-L-A-N-D. As Keith said, I'm a local artist here. I've been doing art all my life. I've recently began the visit back to art with the passing of my uncle, who was an established international artist by the name of Frank Rowland. And he has a lot of great work. I have some here from him. And I originally started back in high school and a little bit of college after that with, my background was in design, art design, commercial art, graphic arts, sketching, and mechanical drawings and those kinds of things, but refined it with some art training and some fine arts training. And I decided to get back into it as a way to express my feelings and emotions, which that's all about. If you check out my Facebook page, Rowland Artworks, that is the Facebook page that I have, you'll see a quote from my uncle, which explains it very, very well. All the subtle nuances and emotions and things of that nature. A lot of it is in the eye of the beholder, and I focus mainly on, at this point, abstracts with color, blending. The medium I use is acrylic. I take colors that come to my mind, shapes and those kinds of things, and then I create what I feel. And I'm really happy about it. It's a labor of love. It is a hobby first, and it is also available for purchase as well, obviously. But it's exciting. It's my feelings and emotions, like I said, on the canvas, and I'll show you a couple of those things today to give you an idea of what I can create and what I do. And a lot of these things, as Keith said, being a refined gentleman and having things like fine watches, which is also an art in and of itself, having the room being brought together by great color, great splashes of color and emotion can really bring a room together and really add to your decor. So,
all right, let's take a look at some of your artwork here.
Without any further ado, here are some examples of my recent works using light, shadow, light sources, of course, just lots of color in a lot of these things. I also do some landscaping.
Can you show us one of your landscaping photos?
Sure. This is,
sorry, artwork.
And I will say, this is Bob Ross-esque, but these are some of the things I can do. But I'm really excited about the abstracts and large abstracts that I'm going to be doing very shortly. But one of my most recent abstracts with some really bright and brilliant colors is this one here, which you can see again on Rowland Artworks on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram with Rowland, that's R-O-W-L-A-N-D _artworks. So if you want to follow me there. This one is one of my favorites. Moving over to some geometrical shapes. This one I've entitled Horizons. And again, the colors in your home, this is only going to accent it, bring it out.
And he actually did some sketch work also of Elvis Costello, if I remember correctly. I
One
think
of my favorite musical artists at the time, back in the 80s, and I don't want to date myself, was Elvis Costello. This is from one of his albums that I freehand sketched.
Oh, now look at that. Now
So
that looks three-dimensional.
that was a while ago.
It was, yeah. You can't see it from the angle because of the camera, but if you were here, this definitely looks three-dimensional, has depth to it. I think this is beautiful.
Solid. Thank you. That's in the sketch world.
Now, one of my favorite pieces of artwork he has, I'm into like the Japanese culture, and he has one that he calls the samurai. I think that's beautiful.
Yep.
If you're into things like that.
Now again, the dimensions are all listed on my Facebook page. So while this may look rather small, it can be accented by some framing and so forth. But I'm inspired by a lot of. I grew up in an age of comic books and fantasy art, so that's another thing that I'm going to be exploring here very shortly. But that's one of my samurais that I'm really happy with.
All right.
Well.
Now, you said you were inspired by your uncle?
Yes, I was. As I mentioned earlier in the piece here, my uncle was a local artist from...
All right. Now, his inspiration was his uncle, who was actually a famous painter.
He was a well-known painter and artist from Altoona, Pennsylvania. He passed away recently, actually, well, not very recently, but in 2012. He was commissioned by Chase Manhattan, Playboy, IBM, to do works of art in their atriums all over the world. Frank is pretty well known. You can Google him as well. And as his nephew, I asked for some pieces from him, and this is a signed print from my uncle, Frank Rowland, entitled "Unexpected One." And on the opposing wall is the matching painting to that called "Unexpected 2." So this was the inspiration for me, and like I said, he was a brilliant artist. I'm going to walk around here, and this is the other piece that goes to that. And as you can see, as we talked about earlier in the piece, the walls that I painted when I redid this room are in a gold color, and I knew that going into it when I had the pieces. So I actually painted the room to fit the pieces I was going to put in, and that's something that you're going to want to do. If you decide on any colors that you would want or request that your room, living room, or anything's going to be, I can match those colors, and we can have something that's going to accent and make it an exciting home for you as well. But if you like some of these things that you see here, and it'll bring out your living space and your living environment and really enhance that for you, come see me, come visit me.